Bashers. Bashers. Hey, everybody.
Is the crowd?
It's the crowd. It's the sound of the arena, the stadium, because we haven't been on tour in a while.
Good evening, Cleveland.
Good evening, Cleveland.
So nice to see you.
Right. It's great to be back here in the States, across the pond. Brilliant.
You've got to have that kind of British. You ever hear that kind of, what is that kind of action? It's very full. It's like your mouth is. There's a guy on the other streams, Jamie Opulence. His name is Opulence, Jamie Opulence, and it's like his mouth is full of candy or fruit. Or
brilliant. It's like
that.
It's Churchill. Churchill had that sound.
Oh, the Churchill was we'll fight them in the fields, we will fight them in the seas, we will fight them in the it was very bad.
We'll fight them in the landing grounds and in the streets. We shall never surrender.
We shall never surrender.
Whatever the cost may be. I only know all of that because of I only know that because Iron Maiden opens every show with that.
That's very musical. Whatever the cost may be.
Whatever the cost may be. We shall never surrender. And then they go into Aces High.
There's that other British.
Right. Guy Ritchie's got those guys that got mumbles in their mouth.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, yeah. Slightly different thing.
I watched this one guy. He does all the British accents. He's a linguist, and RP is the received pronunciation, which is like proper British, how most people from London speak. It's very proper. The royal family are posh. Then there's RP, and then there's all the other derivations of, you've got Manchester, and which is Brummie, and then you've got the Black Country, the Midlands. Very interesting how that little tiny place has so many Wales, the Welsh with their crazy language. So many different pronunciations. But I guess, the States is big by comparison. So we've got Southern people in New York, how you doing? And, take the 405 to the 101 to the PCH and all that shit. So it's big, though. But that place is so small. And they have so many different accents. Liverpool, where everything's like that. Oh, yeah. Did you know?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Right. It's great. It's great. It's just great. So, everybody's dead, right? No,
everyone's dying.
Yeah, Brummie is Birmingham. I apologize. Brummie is Birmingham. It is. Brummie is Birmingham. So the Gauzy, they're Birmingham. They'll do that. Ozzy, all the guys in Sabbath, the guys in Def Leppard, they're all.
There's a guy on TikTok he's an Aussie, and he's translating things for Americans. And he goes in. There's an actor. I can't remember the name of the man. And he goes, this is how you can speak Aussie. And he hands him a piece of paper and he goes, read that. And it says, rise up lights. Like the lights, rise up lights. So the American goes, rise up lights. What's the rise up lights? And then he goes, what you're saying in Australia is this. And it says razor blades. Rise up lights.
Rise up lights. Rise up lights. Yeah, because it's all lights.
Rise up lights.
It's the craziest place where they keep the accent in the back of their throat like that.
Yeah,
very.
Oh, you got it. You always go into British when you do Aussie, but I think it clicked. It finally clicked.
I used to be able to do it. I guess that was out of practice. Yeah, the Aussies all have that kind of. It's very nasal and it's kind of masky. Yeah.
There you go. You got it, man.
It's not the prettiest accent.
Super chatter. No, it's not really. I think the the New Zealand one is nicer. It's softer.
It's softer, right? I can't. When people speak, I don't ever say, "Oh, you're from Auckland," because if you're wrong, they get really angry.
It's just softer.
Yeah.
It's like that girl I dated. What was her name? I shouldn't say her name, but yeah, her first name is Whitney, and she was a wedding planner. I was like, "What do you do for work?" I'm a wedding planner. It was so soft, and
that almost sounds South African. That's the weirdest of them all.
It's a little bit. It's almost there, yeah.
And the wedding planner where they do that. It's all that.
Andrew's happy to see us. Andrew Walkovich, $5. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And Nathaniel's back in. Look. Nathaniel is, I think he's allocated, $20 for the evening. He's going to drip it in $2 every time just to remain part of the chat. We see what you do, you
We
clever
know what
bastard.
you're up to, you, Hannon, you. How's everybody doing out there in Radio Land? Give us your chats, your comments, and we'll talk about it.
Well, a lot of people were asking, what the hell has happened to iBashers? Because it's been a couple of weeks. This is our first episode of 2023.
Well, we had the
So
holidays.
it is.
Then everybody
Yes.
died, and fucked up shit went up. So,
Man, listen, did Lisa Marie Presley, did she show up at the Golden Globes the other night?
She was at the Golden Globes on Tuesday,
and she
night.
died the following day.
She did.
Oh my God. Because I was just watching clips. I didn't see the show. I usually enjoy the Globes because they're all a little tipsy. Apparently, famously, the Globes, they serve alcohol where they don't at the Oscars, etc. So everyone's a little bit hammered. And I always find it to be funny. And they're a little loosey-goosey on the show. I'm not crazy about those shows, but it's fun. And what's that chap who won for Elvis, best actor, little handsome slim fucker, whatever his name is. Whatever his name is. So he wins for it, and he's thanking everyone in the Presley family, and she's there. I'm looking at clips earlier.
Her and her mom were there. She didn't look well.
Well, she looked aging. That never looks well.
Well, no, I mean, first of all, she was a smoke show when she was young.
Oh my God,
gorgeous! She had her dad's eyes. That incredible.
Didn't Nicolas Cage marry her for a while?
He did for 5 minutes. I think they were married for 3 months.
Right.
But she was married 4 times. She's a grandmother. She's been a grandmother for a long time. She had kids young, but she was at the Golden Globes. I watched
Austin Butler. Thank you, Uncle Meridian.
Austin Butler. Yeah, I saw that movie. I thought it was okay. Yeah. Those award shows are bollocks. I do watch some of them. I think the only one I really watch is the Oscars because I just think it's more meaningful, and the BAFTAs are good. But the Golden Globes was fun when Ricky Gervais was doing it because he would just eviscerate the room and everyone would be drunk.
Well, this this black comedian, he was really good. Actually, I noticed him on SNL a few months ago. He was really good. It was his breakout moment, and he was amazing. I also noticed that he had a yellow gold day date with white dial on, which was also quite amazing and classy as fuck. And he hosted it. All the names disappear, of course, but he hosted it, and he was as awkward and as chilling as Gervais can be. So,
so you liked him?
I liked him because he walks out and he goes, "Listen, I'm here because I'm black." It's fucking true. It's true because they're under fire for not being diverse enough. He walks out, "I'm here because I'm black."
How diverse do we have to be? What is the mandate exactly? Can somebody just put it in writing finally? Because that Nene Weeks person, I turned it off when she came out and said, "I don't know if you're all hollering about my dress or that I'm gay now." And everybody was twittering, "Fabulous, she's gay now, yay." All that does is perpetuate the stereotype from the right hand and the far right Christians that say it's a choice because you can just be gay now. You weren't always gay.
The guy's name is Jared Carmichael.
Yeah. And he agreed, and he goes, "Yeah, it was just," I turned it off because I was like, okay, there goes 60 years of progress because you just decided it's like, and I know she's going to be a topic of our conversation tonight. It's just like Demi Lovato changing her pronouns every 5 minutes because she feels a little, I feel more feminine right now. So I've decided to go back to she, her, before I was they, them, or it, or whatever the fuck she was. I just think it's irresponsible for people who are truly identify as the sex they were not technically born to just say you're this, that, or the other. And she came out and said, "I'm gay now." She just happens to be gay now. Next week, who knows? I think fluidity is fucking bullshit. I think you need to stop people. It's enough already.
We had a couple of publicists years ago that were very overtly gay, and I remember those signed to a little, we're signed to for a while, for a hot minute, to a smaller record label in New York, and the CEO, he was a bit of a shithead, whatever, and we were all at lunch, and there was a conversation that came up, and one of the publicist guys goes, I don't know if I want to be gay anymore. I think I like girls again. I think I don't want to, you know. And
Did
the
he
guy,
say that?
the CEO guy is like twice his age. He kind of chuckles and he goes, "I think the decision's already been made." I had to hold it back. It's like, oh God.
And did he say it
Oh
in a very
boy.
fey way? I think I like girls now.
It was, yeah, he has the fey thing
I remember
going
those
on.
guys. They were extraordinarily fey. And that just means a little fruity tooty, fresh and fruity for those of you who don't know what that term means. I mean, it's humorous. I mean, it's like I'm always amazed by, like, you'll meet some people and this guy will be like, "Oh, so look at the fabulous wallpaper. Oh my god." Anyway, I was at Bloomie's with my wife. And then
Like,
whoever's in my vicinity, I'll
who's
just
gonna
shoot them
tell
the
her?
look. Like, does your wife know?
Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her? Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Does she know? There's a guy on American TV. His name is Chrisley. Him and his wife are both going to prison. They're stars of a reality show called Chrisley Knows Best, and it's horrific. And he's gayer than Christmas. And I'm like, does anybody not realize that this guy is as gay as hell, and he's got married with kids? And look, what did you put that poor woman through? And now she's going to jail because you're all. It's
so sad. I dated a girl years ago. She was older than me. It was the first time in a long time I had been with a woman older than myself. And she had been through a divorce because it turns out she was married to a guy for 11 years. He turned out to be gay, right? And they had bought a huge house up in Hudson. You know that town?
Beautiful. Hudson's
Yeah,
gorgeous,
beautiful town up the
Up the
what's
Hudson River.
The Hudson River.
Yeah.
And beyond Cold Spring or before Cold Spring, can't remember.
I'm a little gray on where those all are, but it's the
Right,
Hudson
up
Valley,
there.
and it is exquisite up there.
Yeah, it's lovely. And they had bought an old cathedral and turned it into a home. Anyway, the fight happened and the divorce happened. So he took the lower floor and she took the upper. It was still magnificent and huge. So I went along with her there. And at a certain point, I kind of realized that he lives downstairs. And I was like, hold on. So your ex-husband lives downstairs. You say hello to him in the morning and stuff. And she goes, yeah, but he doesn't say hello back. And I'm like, why? Well, you know, he was living he moved the gay lover in there.
Oh.
And then he decided he didn't want to have the gay lover anymore. He wanted me back. And I wouldn't go back. I'm like, I can't go back. You're gay. You know, the elephant in the room has a tutu on. Like, sorry, but like, and he got really mad.
You were like,
the guy was super angry and wouldn't speak to her for like years because he was so, why would you hold that against me? I was like,
why would you hold that against me? Because you won't hold it against me.
Or you wouldn't, or you wanted to hold something else against you. I just couldn't believe the audacity of this guy getting mad at her. What a total, it must feel like such a waste of time for a woman to figure that out, you know, after all those years.
Especially now that guys are so metro. It's so hard to tell now. Guys are just, you know, everybody's got a fashionable bag and, you know, they've got great shoes. Guys are dressing better than they ever have.
But you remember Brokeback Mountain? And she's so hurt because she's been like making his lunch the whole time. And he's apparently going fishing.
That
scene, somehow they never catch any fish.
I know that tackle box ain't never been seen. I know it. That scene was, first of all, I think she's probably the most exceptional American actress living today. She's exquisite.
She's in that new Spielberg movie that won awards.
The Fabelmans, yeah. Hasn't been doing well publicly. I mean, of course I'll watch it because I love Steven.
Of course.
And John Williams did the score.
Yes, he did.
It's kind of like an autobiographical thing about him moving from Brooklyn to, or he wasn't born. His parents are from Brooklyn, and they moved to New Mexico, I believe. Right? It's where he grew up. He grew up in New Mexico. Or is it Arizona? Forgive me. The Southwest. She's in that. She was in Fosse Verdon. She won a Golden Globes. Every time I've ever seen that woman, I think she's extraordinary. She's the heir to the Streep American crown for sure. She's so good. I mean,
Right.
Just a terrific actress. And we got some super chats. Let's say hi.
Yeah.
RP 1960, $9.99. Alcohol is the best part of the globes. Definitely. Get drunk, everybody, and say things that are offensive and insulting, and let's all laugh about it. Shall we? Great. Randy Rodriguez, $10. Retiring after 30 years in the FDNY. Hey, congratulations.
Wow.
Wow. And treated myself to 11610 subby. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Good for
Nice.
you. Loving it, no doubt. And in the morning for my main guitar hero, Jeff Beck, of course. Rest in peace. Great to see you guys again. Great to have you back, Randy. Thanks.
Great to have you, Randy.
We love the fact that he plays the bashers for the guys in the firehouse.
That's all so cool, man. So cool. Congrats on that.
We'll cut it out with the gay chat now. Let's talk about football, which I know nothing about. And neither do you.
Absolutely zero. I mean, I know a little bit about soccer.
Yeah, me too. I know everything about baseball, though.
All I know is that Giselle's husband guy, he's kind of left out to dry, whatever his name is, the most famous.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. You see, that's how little I know. Tom Brady. He's an icon. Yeah. But like, all I keep seeing all over the internet is people saying that she left him out to dry, that she took half his millions, and she kind of, she was abusive or mentally abusive or something, verbally abusive.
He was?
And she was. I keep hearing she was the witch, and now he's kind of left with nothing. At the same time, I'm thinking, he ain't left with nothing. He's Tom Brady, and,
well, here's some perspective. He, and I forget her name, and everyone can chime in. She's a beautiful, beautiful Irish girl, and she stars on Blue Bloods. She was dating Tom Brady previous to his marriage to Giselle, and she got pregnant, and he told her to get rid of it.
Oh,
so
that's not nice. Okay.
So, but she and Giselle, Giselle said that you are the mother of my husband's child. We should parent. So she was the one that kind of brokered the peace accords between the two of them.
You see, this is shit I don't know at all. Wow. That's interesting.
That? She's an Irish American girl, and she's absolutely gorgeous. And you guys don't know. She's the star of, she's Tom Selleck's daughter on Blue Bloods. And
okay.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was a model, of a serious model. So I don't know what's true. I mean, this is celebrity chatter. I mean, you never know what's real, because you got TMZ and you have all these sensational, The Sun, all that stuff. So I don't know what's real. I mean, like I said, people say, is Tom Cruise gay? I always go, I never fucked him. I don't know. So, there's no way.
Shane McQuirk says for $2.49. Thanks, Shane. The boys are back in town.
Spread the word around.
Spread the word around.
Does everybody love Thin Lizzy? The world does, right?
I've been watching a lot of Thin Lizzy and old interviews with the boy himself, the man himself, and great. I mean, just so cool. Such a cool guy. Tim Wright. Bonnie, come back.
Bonnie, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong. Now that I know that you guys say that, I've always loved that song. I'm just amazed that generations of younger people know that song. It's such an oldie. That was on the radio.
It was probably Archie that came out with it. Someone came out with it, and it stuck. It was probably Archie.
Oh,
and since then, everybody says it, especially Tim. I hope Tim doesn't get mad that I got that wrong, but just it's a thing, and none of them could sing, so they just say "Bloody come back, machine come back," and they don't continue with the rest of the stuff. Mark Sherrod says James Joyce,
definitely James Joyce.
James Joyce. No, it's just because he keeps repeating the thing for the quiz that night. Remember they were coming out with stuff in the quiz.
I do remember that.
And after an hour, so since then, Mark Sherrod's been saying James Joyce and Chloe.
And you kept yelling at me for giving it away.
No, I yelled at you once. People are writing Chloe as well. Look at this. Oh my God.
So
It'll
Bridget
never go
Moynihan
away.
was the actress I couldn't remember. Thanks, everybody.
Bridget Moynihan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Very nice.
iBashers come back.
iBashers come back. Malik, thank you.
We're back. Here we are.
Are we going to talk
so
about
jokesters-
Jeff
Beck? Wow, Johnny Depp was his best friend apparently. Holy smokes, I didn't know that.
Well, when he straight after that trial, in fact, he wasn't there for the final judgment. He wasn't in court for the final judgment. He was out on tour. He went straight on tour with Jeff Beck.
Wow.
So the recent Jeff Beck tour had special guest Johnny Depp, and he came out like halfway and like played out the concert with him, which I thought was a bit of a joke because I like Johnny Depp. He's a cool guy and all that, but you know, I don't consider him a great singer, a great musician, or a great guitarist. He's a very wannabe, all of those three things.
I mean, how horrible must that be? That I mean, the truth of the matter is, he went out to LA to become a rock star, a musician.
That's right.
And he fell into acting by accident and became the biggest movie star in the whole wide world. And no one will ever, but his whole passion is rock. The one problem I have is that he dresses like Steven Van Zandt or, you know, or Keith Richards. Like, it's a little too overkill. Like, it's hard for me to accept the legitimacy of, like, who's that other guy, Jared Leto, who's sells a lot of records apparently with his band.
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars. When you see him in person, he looks like a regular guy. Wears Gucci. I think he's actually a spokesperson and / model for Gucci. But he doesn't try to perpetuate this in real life. I'm just like a vagabond rocker, you know, like, you know, I'm getting on the train with the hobos and a banjo, and that's what he looks like, Johnny Depp. It just looks like he's trying way too hard.
He's trying to be Keith Richards. Like, he's trying to do the Richards thing, the movements. It's not just what he's wearing.
Oh, I see that.
It's the swagger, it's the movements. He's trying to do the whole, he's acting. It feels like acting.
Yeah. Could you imagine strumming a guitar like that? Keith Richards does that, and so does Johnny Depp. They do that. It's so weird.
It's overdone. It's overkill.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff.
He sounds okay. Jeff Beck. I mean,
what a shocker.
I'm glad he's getting all the love that he's getting, because I've always felt like out of all of those guys, he was the best guitar player. Out of Clapton, Page, I always thought he was the best.
Yeah,
but far better. So much so that when Eric Clapton went on tour, I guess it was about 10 years ago, he went on tour with Jeff Beck and he played like 3 songs and let Jeff Beck do the rest, which I thought was great. Give him a little bit of credit, you know, let him. And he was playing arenas. Jeff Beck never got really big on his own. I mean,
no, he was always just around and respected, but he was never a household name. He wasn't a Clapton.
No, well, Clapton had hits.
Clapton had hits. Clapton sang.
Yeah.
Also, Beck was that kind of high premier crew shit.
Yeah.
That will never really be super, super famous. Blues is one thing, but Beck was a bit more than blues and
way
and
more
all of those, you know.
Way more. Technique wise is
it's a little bit too good to be the mainstream, to be very, very popular. Unfortunately, that's the truth about the world. But he had the respect of absolutely everyone.
Everyone. I mean, the tribute.
Play guitar like no one else. Who was I was watching the other night? They were talking about him just like arriving to a gig, and he just grabbed any guitar. He grabbed like a cheap guitar from some store down the street. Wasn't even set up. He didn't have a guitar, so he just walked in somewhere and goes, you know, he sees like a $300 thing. Give me that. And he just walked into the club and he goes, yeah, I just grabbed this thing, you know, I'll play a few tunes. And it sounded exactly the same. It sounded like Jeff Beck. It didn't matter that the guitar was cheap or expensive or vintage or new. It didn't matter. It was him. It was his touch. It was what he did to the instrument.
That's the thing that all the guitar players who chase, you know, tone. I mean, they're called tone chasers. Over the years, I've read interviews with, like, you know, Ted Nugent saying he plugged into, you know, who's a very good guitar player, asshole, sure, but great guitar player. He plugged into Eddie Van Halen's rig, and he goes, you know who I sounded like? Ted Nugent.
Right.
Because it's all
It's
in the
your
fingers. You
touch.
can, that guy Kirk Hammett from Metallica, who's just an awful guitar player. He was talking about all the pedals that he uses, and he's like, "Oh, my favorite guitar players are Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page and Michael Schenker." And I'm like, he goes, "This is what I use to get that tone." I'm like, "You can't get that tone because it's here, and it sounds like somebody pushed you down a flight of stairs. He's just not." Guitar players have a tone that's built into their soul, and it's transmitted from here to you. It
It's
doesn't really
true.
matter. It
It used
doesn't
to happen
matter.
in our band as well. Colin would buy, expensive guitars when we could finally afford them. And he'd
Yeah.
be battering them, and they'd sound out of tune, and they'd sound twangy, and they'd sound cheap, even though it was an expensive guitar.
Yeah.
And then Emmett would say, "Hand it here, I'll put it in tune," and then he'd play it. It'd be like a totally different instrument. Emmett would touch it, would be just like a totally different thing. I used to get the same thing all the time with the Rickenbacker, because people would buy a Rickenbacker and think they're going to sound like Eddie Lee now, or they're going to sound like Chris Squire. It's like, no, the bass isn't going to do all the work for you. It's the way you approach the instrument that matters.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean,
people don't realize that.
Is anyone as recognizable as Jeff Beck? And did that came out of left field? What is bacterial
He had bacterial meningitis. It's how it's something that affects a lot of kids in college. Where these kids just drop dead in the dorm rooms. It's extremely virulent, and you can die within hours from it, because what it does is this particular bacteria gets into the myelin and can go straight to your brain. It goes to the nerve, to the spinal column. I was reading all about it because I was like, holy shit, he died so quickly. Apparently he didn't die that quickly. He had it for a week. It's very hard to knock out. We're very resistant now to antibiotics because of the abuse. It's very important to not take antibiotics for every little cut, scrape, and ailment you have, because
they won't work.
They won't work after a while. And we've become, as a species, we've become extremely unable to come up with new stuff, and we're just resistant to these. They have ones in hospitals that come in an IV bag that'll knock you on your hole. Boom.
Right.
That we don't have. And if they didn't have those, we'd really be up the creek. Did you ever take an antibiotic that was so strong and you feel like somebody really hit you with a car? It's crazy.
No. Augmentin is one of the strong ones, right?
I mean, they're called broad spectrum antibiotics. Of course, penicillin was the first, and then derivations of penicillin, anything with a "cillin" suffix. But then they have these the newer ones, which are all broad spectrum. So, I mean, they're trying to come up with new ones every day, because we have things like that can take a healthy person out. Granted, I was shocked to find out he was 78. I didn't realize he was that old. Were you shocked by that? I was like, oh, fuck, he's almost 80. Wow.
No, I would have thought, he was up there. Tal Winkenfield, a young female bass player who was out with him on many tours, and he kind of discovered her and made her part of his band. She put up a lovely post on Facebook, talking about how she felt like she had another father, like a second father figure.
I believe
so much so that Wikipedia actually made the mistake to say that was actually his daughter, which it was not. She was amazing, and she came into the band at 19 or 20 years old or something like that. It was crazy.
What is it with girls and the bass, man? Girls they really found their niche with bass. There's some terrific female bass players out there.
Sure.
I mean,
she was she had all the jazz licks down.
Oh,
and stuff,
she's great.
Yeah.
What does she play? She plays a big thing, like an alembic, or what does she play?
She plays a big. It's not a Fender Jazz, but it's a copy. I don't mean a copy. It's in that style of a Fender
like a
Jazz,
Lackland or one of those things.
Something like that. Yeah,
those are beautiful, by the way. I don't know if you ever played one of those Lacklands. They're very nice.
No, I always stuck to the big boys.
Of course,
I stuck to the Rolex, the Omega, the AP.
Yeah, because it feels like
same in basses.
Yeah. It feels like you bought the Chibson when you.
No, but I had a WAL. I
hate those. Ugh.
Oh my god, that WoW was amazing.
I'm sure they were amazing, but
It was totally illegal to own that base because the
'cause
woods were
the
so
wood.
exotic, right? There's no
Yep.
way you could go
The
anywhere with the
bingo,
thing.
yeah.
And there was a fucking computer, and it took 2 batteries in the back. It was crazy. I had a Padula. I had
Oh, wow.
I had the grassroots, which now you have. I've
It's
had a lot of
fabulous.
alternative bases. I had a status graphite base made of graphite. It was amazing.
You ever have a Steinberger?
JD. I never had a real Steinberger.
The JD
no.
is here too.
Oh, the JD is there.
I've never plugged it in.
That thing is an animal. That's a fucking weird base. Tim Wright, $5. It's true. I can't sing. Boys, come back. Ray. Coming in.
Oh, heavy. Ray. 50 pounds.
Swinging.
Do we know where Ray is? What country he's in?
He's in Ireland. He's in Galway.
Oh, he's in Galway, right?
The west of Ireland. What a beautiful place to be.
One of my oldest friends in the world, Mimi, her daughter is studying in Ireland right now.
Oh,
and she was like, I should have just called you up. She's like, give me some places for her to go. I was like, I'll call my Dublin friends because that's where she is. I don't know that town very well. You guys,
I'm probably not the best person to ask because there's so many new places since I've lived there.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Sure, that's true.
Nathaniel, look at him doing this. No, Nathaniel, we're not reading your shit unless you have to double your money now. I'm kidding. Depp spent so many pirate movies being Richards. Yeah, he based the pirate movies, that character, on Keith Richards, like slightly drunk, slightly, slurring his words and so on. Patricia Teague watched a Jeff Beck performance with Tal Winkenfield, both amazing. Yeah. And who was on drums? It was name will come back to me.
Name will come back.
Mark Girard, what are you saying? The best part's about getting the Rolex pouch from the giveaways. I have a true piece of Time to Spot Channel Cinematic memorabilia. Super cool thing for a big fan like me. That's cool,
great. That's great. Everybody's got all their goodies.
Everyone except for one guy, because I traveled all the way to Vicenza to send the stuff out, and I forgot the Hercules thing. But I have more stuff to ship on Monday, so it's going out then.
Nice.
Yeah. So everyone else got their stuff. Vinny Cayuta.
Vinny Colaiuta.
Yeah, he was the drummer.
Is that who plays drums for him?
Yeah, so it was Vinny, Tal, and maybe someone on keyboards a bit. Yeah.
I mean, Vinny Colaiuta is, up there with Steve Gads of the world.
Well, yeah.
He's in that pantheon.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. He also plays for, who else does he play for? He played on the last Kate Bush record.
Vinny
Steve Gadd and him both did. They both played.
Oh God. Well, she has the pick of the crop, right?
Sure.
And as did Jeff Beck. Neely is asking what watch I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing a Zero West tonight. Doesn't it look sexy and big and cool? If you zoom in. I've been wearing a lot of Zero West. They sent me their whole catalog practically.
Now that's gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Hunk of steel. Let me do a solo here.
Oh, that is a beauty.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And look at that strap. I mean, that's hand sewn and everything by Graham. Like a military engineer made that strap, like a real, not a pretend one, but a real one who can't even speak about his missions.
Just you mean unlike Prince Harry?
Unlike Prince Harry, who can apparently speak about everything. While I have the zoom in, let me show you another couple of my favorites. Just while I have the zoom in, I'm not going to bore everyone to tears, but I'm going to be featuring these on the channel.
Look at that! It's got like rally stripes on it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's got the Chemin de Fer. Oh, that's beautiful.
Ooh,
look gorgeous? At the back of that.
And the back, the backs on their watches are second to none. They make some of the best watch backs in the world. Here's a big chrono, big fat beast.
That's a
chrono.
Monster.
And it looks like the strap has gone through the dial, doesn't it?
It does.
It does, right? This thing is a monster. Look at the strap. I mean, try breaking one of these watches. I dare you to try. It's impossible. Absolute beast. And this is one of their first watches they ever designed. Kind of a more classic look.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, nice.
I got to tell them though, from far away, their logo looks a little like Longines.
Ah, yeah.
When it wasn't in focus, it looks a little bit like Longines. Beautiful, big pieces though. You need a chunky man wrist for those boys.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good on me, right?
Yeah, you can't be a little fairy fella wearing those.
No,
it won't look very good.
Well, the two lads are both beefy fellas, so they work well on them. Yeah, they might be coming out with new stuff though. I won't say anything, but we'll see.
Very nice.
Yes,
that's a beauty.
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of which, while we were gone, that whole Harry shit hit the fan. What a fucking idiot!
Listen, wow. I saw the clip of Meghan talking about curtsying and not knowing how to curtsy and kind of joking about the curtsying. Listen, I'm an Irishman. What the fuck do I care, right? This is all bullshit to me too. But man, like, you just got married into the family. Like, fucking Google it, darling. Google.
Didn't they have royal lessons? I'm sure they did.
They were on their way to meet the Queen. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "You know how to curtsy, by the way, don't you?" Ooh. And she goes, "What's a curtsy?" And she did this stupid big like film version of a curtsy. And she's laughing. And it was the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
She's 100,000,000% full of shit about everything that comes out of her mouth.
You know what? You'd love the Andrew Tate clip about her. Andrew Tate. I'm coming around to Andrew Tate. I hate to say it, but he says he was like, you know, if she's black, she can make me some fucking fried chicken because then I'll see if she's really black because then it'll be really good. It's like, dude, oh, here we go. And he goes, dangerous. I'll be able to tell because I've tasted the real stuff and I've got a big feeling she's full of shit. Like, oh man, if anyone's gonna say it, he'll say it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Didn't the book come out? What's the book called?
It's called Spare.
What does that mean? Like he's a spare wheel or
heir? This the old adage.
Oh, he's the
heir and a spare.
It's a portmanteau. Got it.
Yeah. Heir and a spare. So, I mean, in the book, he does something that military guys never do: talk about their kills. He put a number to it.
Well, didn't that dude who fucking that sniper guy they made the movie about? Didn't he talk about his kills?
I think it was much later, though. It wasn't. I mean, as far as I know, all the military men I've ever known, and it's quite a number, they all don't want to talk about that part of the job.
Right.
And he said he insinuated that the British Army teaches you to treat them like it's wiping pieces off a chessboard, not that they're humans. Oof. So the Taliban. Who knew the Taliban was on Twitter? They tweeted that, one, of course, the first thing they say is, well, on the day that he said he killed 22 people, he just killed villagers because we had no operatives in the thing. And also, then now there's talk about fatwas against him and his family. So his main thing is trying to, I got out of there to keep my family safe. And then you piss off the Taliban. Smart move.
Smart move. How about shutting your trap?
How about just the two of you entitled little cunts just go away? It's just grotesque. Okay, so you left the royal family. Go to Hollywood and shut up. But you're building your whole vast fortune on your family. It's and she's just a gold digger, so fuck her. I'm just that whole thing, and various people I know are obsessed with it and they want to talk about it. And I'm Irish and I don't think the royal family. I don't give a fuck about them anyway, other than The Crown, which I really like.
The show,
yeah, the show is great. It's great. But now we're getting into. I love historical stuff. But now when you get into pop culture, like the Diana stuff, that didn't go down well. She was portrayed badly. She looked like a whiny little bitch. It wasn't fun to watch that. And now
Right.
in real time, we've got these two. She's Wallace Simpson. She's the new Wallace Simpson, essentially. Except he wasn't the heir to the throne, and he didn't need to abdicate. So, I mean, it's just so boring. It's just so the two of them, and it's all Oprah's fault. Getting around the couch and her going, they asked if my baby was black. What color would the baby be? I mean, wow.
Anybody watching, by the way, on the Ocean O'Malley channel, previously known as the Timeless Watch channel, and you're wondering where the Watch Talk is, this is an episode of the iBashers. It'll be only found on the iBashers channel after this airs. Don't get upset. If you're only interested in talking watches, then this is not the show for you. But if you like to have a bit of a laugh on a Friday night, hang on in there. Rob Morrison, $9.99. Welcome back, Dirk. Oisin, there was some very sober, serious guy impersonating you on the other channel yesterday talking about insurance. I know I wasn't drinking or anything. I had to do an interview with, not an interview, but we did a chat with the watch register, with Catherine from the watch register yesterday. It was all very, it was serious watch talk. So none of the nattering, and I wasn't smoking a cigar or anything like that. But I thought it was a very informative show, very interesting information. I reposted it on my own channel late last night. It's called What to Do If Your Watch Turns Out to Be Stolen. You guys should check it out. It's very interesting to know.
I watched it.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, there's a lot of info. There's very few views on the video. I don't know why people aren't interested. You should be if you own a beautiful watch, either about to buy one and you want to check it, or you just lost one, God forbid, and you have to register it in hopes that you'll get it back. Thank you, Rob Morrison and Richard Paulet. €6 super sticker. Thank you, Richard.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. We could talk about watches if you want. Bring up a topic, and we like to talk about watches too. But this is the show we do it. So,
but okay. you sent me a picture earlier that all the moon swatches were in stock. It's no longer a waitlist item.
Yeah. So on my what was like Moonbotch, the clip broke on the strap.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, because it's Chinese. So this broke. This right here. This is broken.
How did that break?
Because it's plastic. Yeah, it broke. See? That broke. Oh my God. Now I wear this thing. I beat the shit out of it every day. It really takes a great licking. It's pretty great. So I was in Grand Central for another reason, and I passed by the swatch store, and they had the entire collection in the window. And I went, "Oh, how cool!" I said, "You guys don't have these?" He goes, "Yeah, we have them all."
Wow.
Went, and then I just said, "Hey, if I needed to get another strap, what would I do?" He goes, "Oh, we don't have them at this location, but if you go to Fifth Avenue, they have all the straps, replacement straps for the moon swatches."
Would you not be tempted just to buy isn't that the Mercury you have?
Yes.
The Moonbox version. Would you not be tempted just to get the real Mercury? Did they have that one in stock?
They had it.
Because even here, that's the one that's gone immediately. I walked in the other day and they had three. They had the Earth, the Uranus, the blue one, which I already have, and the Venus, the pink one, which is very girly. And I said, I'll take that for my daughter. I'll take it. Why not? And then I walked around to my friend, the watch dealer, and he had gotten a few because he's literally around the corner and his sons walk around to see what's available. So they're right there. So they have the advantage. And they had the Mercury. So I took the Mercury at a small profit to the kid, the youngest son.
Nice.
So I have the Mercury. I have the real one here. If you want, I'll send it to you. Were you not tempted to just grab one? Or is it just like too
not anymore? I used to be. Now
yeah.
I just, and especially because I don't like the way the second hand runs. Goes tick, 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 and mine sweeps. Goes. I don't know. Yeah. They're both plastic watches with batteries, but now I'll have a better strap.
Aaron O'Malley, my older brother, lives in Vienna. Said Vinny Cayuta played with Sting.
Yes, that is who he currently is. Sting's drummer. That's what I was trying to think of. He's currently his drummer.
He's one of the best drummers in the world. I've been hearing about that guy since I was, 15 years old.
Sure.
His name is in the background
Sure,
all
he's
the
a
time.
jazz god. I mean,
Yeah.
Sting can get everybody he wants. He even steals fucking Manu Katché occasionally.
By the way, Manu Katché is on tour with Peter.
Peter Gabriel.
And
No?
Peter's putting out, Peter Gabriel's putting out new songs every full moon.
I heard the new one.
Yeah, he just and it's got David Rhodes, it's got Tony Levin on bass, it's got
Sure.
the whole crew and Manu Katché, man. It's like,
Yeah.
and they're playing here in the arena. I'm trying to get tickets.
Oh, in Venice?
No, in the arena in Verona.
In Verona. Oh, that's the place.
That's the place to do it, right? I know. There's a whole.
I'm coming to Italy for Peter Gabriel. What's the month?
That? Yeah, look it up. Look it up.
Oh shit!
It's in May. It's on the 20th of May. May 20th. So it's 2 days after Lydia's birthday. I figured it might be nice. Actually, Lydia's mom asked. She was like,
she's a fan, right?
Yeah, she's a huge fan. It's great taste.
The IO tour. Finally, he's been working on IO for what, 20 years. Mm-hmm. Can you believe how long it's been since he put out? May 21st and the 20th and 20. Oh no, the 20th. 21st is Milan.
21st is Milan.
Okay.
So considerably less romantic. I mean, Verona in that arena is just what the hell.
You already saw Gabriel there, right?
No, I saw Roger Waters there.
Oh, okay.
On the Dark Side of the Moon tour with Lydia's mom.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That was before. Roger only does ginormous. His tours are too big to play there now.
Yeah, he could never set up a stage in there.
No.
Anyway, yeah, Manu Katché, the man.
Yeah. I mean, I almost, who's the guy that played right before Manu Katché? The famous Jerry Marotta, right? I like him better. I just think he's got more of that Gabriel vibe. I know Manu Katché is great. We saw Manu Katché live, and both of us were like, he looked like he was sleeping through that gig. It was a weird gig. I was like, he's like sleeping.
That was the one on Jones Beach.
Jones Beach, yeah. Peter was phenomenal.
It was the Soul tour revisited.
Yes,
right?
It was the Soul tour. Ian O'Malley got us into that show.
Yeah,
and it was real nice of them. And it was a great show. I love those telescopic lighting trusses that he has that come alive.
Yeah, that was Day of the Triffids, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what that's like.
Down like it looked like they were alive. Yeah, that was
really
cool, man.
Really great. It's interesting to see Peter in that kind of context. I mean,
Katché is full of stuff. He's full of all those early splashes. Everything's early. Yeah. You know, all the accents are at the forehand, right? It's never on the one, right?
The forehand, right?
Yeah, it's all early. Everything's super early, but that's his way.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
How cool.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year for music in that way, but man.
Everybody's finally going to be out. I mean,
yeah,
I guess they're putting out records. Everybody's doing their touring. This is the first official year where people are without any restrictions. People can tour.
I've seen a difference even here. Like finally, like truly, the restrictions have been lifted. You know, so now we're really seeing the tourists come through the city. You know, it's making a difference.
Are you offended? Listen,
the past week there was the frenzy over the New Year's, but the past week, all the stores here. I was just chatting with my guy who has a watch store in the city yesterday. All the stores said they did so well in December that they're just closing now. There's no point. And most of the stores and cafes and cool places I go are all shut down. They're all closed. And I was walking through the town and I got a fuzzy, warm feeling. I'm not going to lie. It reminded me of lockdown and I missed it. I was like, this is like when I had the city to myself. It was spooky and it was weird and uncertain, but there's also a certain romance to it too.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You did. You moved into that. It's funny when Sheen and I were FaceTiming, you know, this is not on the internet, when he was living in Vicenza at the beginning of the outbreak, when Italy was being decimated by COVID-19. And the Carabinieri were out in force, and they were, I mean, but it was like there was Cayego everywhere, there's fog everywhere, and he would go down the street, and it looked like Amadeus, like you would like be throwing lime on people's dead bodies. That's what it looked like when you did that. It was incredibly cinematic. And I mean, I remember you questions by the Carabinieri. It was really scary time, and then you moved to Venice and no one was there. So
not a soul. I mean, that's still documented. I still get messages about that video, people going back and watching it, or people coming across it now and watching it going, oh my God, like it's great that you documented that moment in history that way. It'll never happen again. Let's hope.
No. Well,
and it's just what a weird moment to move to a town like this, but yeah, I got real used to having the place to myself, real used to it. It's quite funny stepping out of your house and onto what looks like pretty much a Hollywood set.
Yeah.
I mean, it just gets ruined by crowds. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Everywhere in the world is the same. So it's been interesting the past week that everywhere just went, fuck it. We're gonna relax now. We got our month of good business finally. And we're gonna kick back because the tourists aren't here right now. The weather's pretty shitty. But
you have Carnival coming up though, right?
Carnivale is on its way. Yeah. That's the end of February, early March.
I mean, I guess it's different. I guess it just falls in line for when Easter is, right?
Right.
I mean, this is, it'll never happen again, even if Ebola hit, because people won't take it anymore. People won't listen to authority anymore. We listened to this time, but I mean, everyone just is so fatigued by it. And I don't think it'll ever happen again. Certainly not in our lifetime. And interesting that we lived through that. It's interesting.
Yeah, certainly. I'd say to Lydia, my daughter, often I'd be like, you're going to tell the story about this to your kids someday, about how you had to like stay in the apartment, and like it'll be like old tales of woe. It'll really seem aging. Yeah.
I mean, it's one for the history books. People, what was it like? Everyone's going to want to know what it was like, because they won't believe it. Because, we'll have all the cancer curing drugs by then. There'll be some kind of inoculation. People will be living to 150. They're like, do you remember when this virus showed up? And should we live that long? Do you think so? What do you think about that?
I don't mind extending life a little. I mean, we used to die of a toothache at 26 years old, or die of like an attack from a wild animal at 30 or whatever. We've extended our lives already. The fact that most of us will probably live till 70, 80, 90 is something. But I certainly wouldn't want to live forever. There's no point. It's got to have an expiration on there. If that's 150, then okay. But just living to 150, it depends what the details are, because if 100 looks the same, when we die at 150, if 100 looks the same as 100 looks now, what's the fucking point?
There's no point. If you're an invalid or incontinent or any of that stuff. I mean, if you're Russell Nash, sure.
Russell Nash, all kinds of places, all different kinds of places.
Different kinds of places.
Yeah.
Why, you cruising for some ass? Such a great movie.
Talk funny, Nash. Where are you from? All sorts of places.
All sorts of places.
He
was just in a movie, and boy, was he old. What was he? Oh, we watched the Coen brothers, Hail Caesar, the other night. I had never seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's George Clooney and a cast of thousands, and it's okay. It's not a great film by any stretch. It's certainly not in up to Coen standards. It's a little romp, but there's a director, and they go in there, and it's Christopher Lambert, and he's like an old man. Holy shit!
Oh, he was already old when he was in Highlander.
Was he? No,
he was already in his early 40s, I believe. That's not old. I'm just saying.
Come on.
That's what a age for your career to begin.
Well, the first time was what? The first time anybody in America or worldwide had ever seen him was Greystoke. I'm imagining.
That's right. Greystoke.
Where
Then
Andy
he married
McDowell.
Diane Lane. I'm so jealous.
Sure did.
Oh, damn it, man.
I think she had one of his children.
I'd give up everything
for Diane. Would you?
Diane
now too? She's still gorgeous, right?
Still gorgeous.
Yeah.
Even now. You know who she has a big crush on now? And it comes out in interviews. Kevin Costner. And Kevin Costner is in that Yellowstone thing, which have you watched Yellowstone?
I haven't
just won a bunch of awards. And he won an award, but he couldn't attend because he's stuck in that part of California that's full of floods.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list. You know, her and Kevin Costner work together. They play the Kents.
They played a bunch of stuff together.
They are Superman's parents.
They're Superman's parents, and apparently he's the ultimate gentleman. He's like the American I'd like to be, you know. If I was an American dude,
coolest.
He's the coolest. He's quiet. He's, you know, he only speaks when he's got something to say.
He's like a cowboy.
He's like a modern day cowboy.
Yeah.
I kind of just, and I know he's not. I know he's not a great actor because I know he just comes on set and he's just Kevin Costner. It's like Harrison Ford.
I don't think he's
Harrison Ford is just Harrison Ford, right? He just walks on. Be Harrison Ford, please, and say these lines, please. Thank you very much. There's your paycheck, right?
Chewie, we're home.
Chewie, we're home. I started crying when that happened. I didn't like the movie that much, but man, when he goes, Chewie, we're home.
I know.
And they're in the Millennium Falcon. I was like, please don't play with my feelings like that, you fucking sadists. But Costner is just like, be Costner. It's almost like he's not acting at all. Like they wrote the part for him, and he just comes on set, and he's just
he's still so good. Even if he's not Brando or one of these guys, but he's made a lot of movies I really like. One, I love this movie called For Love of the Game with Kelly Preston. It's a baseball movie. You wouldn't like it because it's a love story. It's definitely a rom-com, but it's got a great baseball twist, and I'm a baseball guy. But No Way Out. Fuck. Great.
Oh, No Way Out was great. Yeah, that was good. Political thrillers, man. There's nothing like them.
Yeah, he's good at that stuff. And what else did he do? He did Dances with Wolves, which he wrote and directed.
Yes.
And that's probably where he got started on the cowboy thing. Yeah, he won everything. Yeah. He won Best Director for that.
He was in an interesting film there about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, Mr. Brooks.
Oh, I loved it.
And
was Demi Moore in that?
John Hurt, William Hurt was in it.
Oh,
I don't know if Demi was in it. But Mr. Brooks, he was a serial killer, but he's a regular family man with a lovely family, and he would just sneak out in the middle of the night and go kill people. And his conscience was played by William Hurt, sitting in the back of the car telling him, you know what you're going to do, and things like, Field of Dreams. How could we forget Field of Dreams?
I think it's an overrated movie. I'm a baseball guy, and I'm like, it's a little, it's a big movie and everything. It's just so sappily sentimental. Maybe that's why. And that's with Ed Harris's wife, right? Which Paul and I affectionately call her Prairie Puss. Because she looks like a woman from the Dust Bowl. Well, let me Google her name. You ever see a movie called Places in the Heart with Sally Field and John Malkovich and Ed Harris?
I know exactly what you're. Yeah.
It's a masterpiece. Ed Harris's wife.
And James Earl Jones is in that film. And people will come. People will come.
Amy Madigan. Yeah, it's like Ed Harris married
her. What's his name from Goodfellas?
Yeah, Ray Liotta. Yeah,
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, he's got this magical field in the background.
You've got to admit he was super handsome back then, right? Ray Liotta.
No, never a grotesque monster.
You're not into that guy?
No, monster.
He had a great face. Monster. Yeah.
I think he's.
I need to ask a woman.
Ask a woman.
A real woman.
Okay, women out there, we got a couple.
We got Patricia.
Did anybody think that Ray Liotta with his horrible
I Can Feel the Dreams,
gravy train skin? Oh, he's
and in Goodfellas, no?
No, he looks like he's wearing eyeliner and he's got like a crater face.
He does have a little, yeah, he has some pits in his
And
skin.
that can be
That's right.
very attractive. In I'm reading. I'm
Shoeless
done.
Joe Jackson. That's right.
Finally done reading
Carolyn
Bono's.
Martin. He was hot. There you go.
Wow.
Thank you, Carolyn,
But
for
girls
backing
have
me up on
weird
that
taste
one.
in guys, so they do. You're in it for all the wrong reasons. But we love you, Carolyn. Bono's book, the audiobook, the first audiobook I've ever had, and it's magnificent. I highly recommend it.
I'm listening to it too.
Did you get up to the Michael Hutchins part yet?
No, I have not. Don't give anything away.
I'll just briefly just say
Okay.
so. They were very good friends, and Bono talks about how he's always felt about himself as a fraud of a rock star. He's not the best looking guy, and he's like, then we have Michael Hutchins. He's got a little bit of a lisp, Australian accent, but a lisp. And he was dating Helena Christensen, and they were right. Off tour and spending a lot of time in the south of France. And he talks about, and he even had pockmark skin that you'd never see in a photograph. Apparently he had bad skin, but he was just so outrageously beautiful as a rock. He goes, he was 50% man, 50% woman, and 100% rock star.
He had some femininity going on.
Sure.
A lot of these rock stars are they're loose with that. They're very liberated with that stuff. They can walk that line. I suppose the original was David Bowie, right? Where you couldn't really tell sometimes if it was a girl or a boy. What was that song? Boys? Remember that song? It was a funny song.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
When you're a boy.
Yeah. I think artists in general have been bending gender for as long as they can. Quentin Crisp and, forgive me, the lesbian author who wore suits. Rock stars, it was just perfect because we had long hair and everybody was skinny and wore lycra, and you could wear girls' frocks, you could wear boas and stuff. And Michael Hutchins just had this kind of like incredible serene beauty about him. He's a great rock star. I don't know if you cared for that band at all. I
found the band annoying. I did. I found it. Looking back, there's nostalgia and okay, but I found those songs to be just, I wasn't crazy about them. Never Tear Us Apart was as much as I could handle. But these funny, funky videos with the fake snare drum and stuff like that.
Oh, the 80s.
It was like the Fine Young Cannibals or something like, yeah.
Yeah, down.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, down. Gang.
Yeah, all of that. It was a lot in excess, and also that was so saturated. Like we couldn't turn it off because nowadays you've got Spotify, you've got everything, and you can just turn on whatever you want. You don't like something, you've got your whole other channel on whatever other thing. Back then we were gripping onto like 2 television shows. What's going on with my hair tonight? We had Top of the Pops and we had MTV and and we needed, that's all we had, and it was just so saturated. Also, we were in Ireland, which is just famous for playing 4 songs over and over again. I picked up a watch for my good friend, who's one of the most famous radio DJs in Ireland. He's buying a watch for his cohort, his equivalent of you, Dirk, on his show there in Ireland. And he's so entrenched in that stuff. And I remember having conversations with him about, why is Tina Turner simply the best, and Drive by the Cars. Why are these songs still in rotation all these years later? Just fucking over and over. Ireland just couldn't see beyond the same, 10 or 20 songs. It was not a good atmosphere. To be, as a musical mind, it was not a healthy place. When we finally got to America and we sat in an Irish pub in Long Island City, and Rock 104.3 was probably on. I don't know what channel, but I'm guessing it was that. And fucking Rush was on in the Irish pub. There was Rush on the radio. It wasn't a jukebox. It was on the fucking radio. And I looked at my fellow bandmates. I was like, oh my God, we made it out by the skin of our teeth. because Ireland was just not a healthy place to grow up with music. I have to say, I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go.
Oddly
It was
enough, those
fucking
Rush
torture.
albums in the 80s sounded like that too.
Really?
They're so reverby, and the snare drums are
sure.
that was just the only thing about the In Excess record was Kick. It was one of the first digital records, and there was a thing, and I'm not trying to bore anybody with the technical aspects of it. Digital silence.
Yeah.
The difference between that and tape is it's actually there's no sound. Not there's hiss if you stop the tape. You'll still hear,
Sure. Maybe
you'll
that
still
was
hear
subliminal.
wow, flutter and stuff. So it'd be like what was that song? What was the big song? That huge genetic song.
In Excess?
Yeah, the biggest one of them.
Yeah, it's
the biggest one of all.
Oh yeah, and Dua Lipa has diddle 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 diddle. She sings a tune that is the exact same guitar riff. Din din din. Diddle 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 diddle. Yeah, that one.
That's it. Yeah, when it stopped, it went dun dun dun. It was the most silent thing I'd ever heard.
Oh, right.
I remember because I was obsessed with CDs had a code in the back, and it would say like AAD, ADD, DDD, meaning analog recording, analog.
So slide
mix,
over here
and give me the moment. Words are so pure. I've got to let you know. Yeah. I've got to let you.
You're one of my kind. Yeah, it was like pure silence.
That's the album before. No, I'm thinking of New Sensation.
New Sensation, that was big. Look, they had big hits. Look, I can't take away from it. I was listening to Rush Hemispheres at the time, so it was hard for me to listen to any
I was
of that
already
crap.
done with that already.
Really? Somebody's asking about Van Morrison.
I had Hemispheres when it came out.
Van Morrison. Right.
What do you
think about Van Morrison?
I hate Van Morrison. I fucking hate him. He's a crotchety old little cunt from Northern Ireland. Fuck off. I hate him. I never want to hear Brown Eyed Girl ever again and watch ugly girls dancing at the bar. No.
So
no to Van Morrison.
In a recent YouTube Bono interview, he's talking about when he got up with Van Morrison at the beginning of their career, and Van Morrison said, "Come on and play some tunes." And he idolized Van Morrison. And he gets on stage, and there's a big cheer because he's the new thing. Bono was the new thing at the time. And Van's there, and he's like, he takes the mic, and then he looks over, and Van's gone, just left.
Yeah, he left.
So Bono just kept singing, and he told it like a nice story. And you know what I thought about when I heard that? I thought Van just got jealous, and he walked off the stage.
Because he's a cunt. He played last summer. Now, we all know I'm a big Tom Jones fan, as most of us are. Tom Jones opened for Van Morrison in Forest Hills. Now, I would have gone to that show, but I was just so appalled at the fact that Tom Jones was opening for Van Morrison. First of all, the math doesn't make any sense. Tom Jones is a far bigger, more enigmatic, legendary artist.
Yes.
Why the fuck was he opening for? It must have been like because they're mates. What is that?
I don't know.
Why would he open?
I don't know.
And I know people said Tom Jones played for 20 minutes. And then Van Morrison went on, Van Morrison, then he headlined for 20 minutes. Because he always leaves. He's like Morrissey. He gets angry at something and he leaves because he's such
in a bad mood. He gets sweaty and he remembers he has micro penis and he walks away. Like
he has micro penis. Yeah,
he probably does. I can tell when I see it in a guy's face. It just kills me. Glenn Parker, Rush, amazing. See, we have the right audience here.
Yeah, well, we could super dazzle you with our nerdy Rush knowledge. Because
you're being tough. You're being tough, Matthew.
On who?
On Van Morrison. You're not.
He's a cunt. I hate him. Fuck him. It's from Belfast.
Brown-eyed girl.
Oh, that song is just the worst.
Yeah.
I even so Dancing in the Moonlight is not by him. He's got a song called Moondance, but I always thought it was him, so I always hated it. And then I was like, oh, it's not him. All right, I like it now.
Well, didn't Tin Lizzy write Dancing in the Moonlight? I think they did.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Dancing in the Moonlight.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I always thought that was a Van Morrison song, but it's not. Like Moon. Okay. For a moon dance. No, I hate him.
You hate him?
I hate Van Morrison. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. I do like In Excess, though. I think they have a lot of great songs. And I like him. And he was a great rock star. We don't have them anymore.
How do we even get onto him? I don't know. Who else died? Sorry, by the way. So Jeff, we lost Jeff Beck. Unbelievable. What else has been going on? Demi Lovato. What the fuck is going on
Demi
with her
Lovato.
new record?
Well, she's just a twat.
Is she banned from England?
Did you read why? Did you? I watched this.
Well, her album cover is satanic or something. What's going on with there's a rash of this shit going around. People being all, controversial with images of Satanism.
She's not doing anything Madonna didn't do in 1990. So it's just
like a
rehash.
Like a prayer.
She did. Yeah. The image is Demi Lovato's got a new album called Holy Fuck.
Yeah.
And she's laying on top of a cushiony, like a fuzzy crucifix in bondage gear. Right. Okay. So do I have this handy? I took this down recently. Hold on.
I'll pull up the album cover for everyone here. And it's not written for
this is worth a considerable fortune. Okay. This.
What's that?
Hold on. Let me put my headphones back on. I just realized I didn't have my headphones on. Hold on. Okay. So this. Do you know what this is?
It's all bright. We can't. Sex.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
No.
So this is Madonna's coffee table book that was released in 1990.
Okay.
This is.
It's all bondage and shit.
Oh, it's. I think it's La Chapelle. Okay. This came out when she was doing her Blonde Ambition tour, right after Like a Prayer. Oh no, this is Erotica. Sorry, Erotica. So this would be the girly show. So this was like before anybody, artists were provocative. This was beyond provocative because, like here, like this is it. Okay, ready?
Right.
Yeah. So this is all stuff Madonna did 33 years ago. Here's a girl eating her pussy. There she is in bondage, making out with a guy and a girl. A lot of girls naked. She's got a dildo. Sorry, Carolyn Martin. So all of this stuff. And it's like now Demi Lovato, like these tired, crappy artists are just rehashing shit we've already done. And it's so tired now. Demi Lovato, he, she, you, is it, go away.
So this is her album cover here. It's like it's a crucifix and her all tied up.
Isn't that
provocative? And the album is Holy Fuck with a V instead of a U. Wow, she released it on vinyl. Look at that.
Everybody's releasing on vinyl. If you make a record right now, you have to put it out on vinyl.
That's cool, man. I like that.
Vinyl
and it came on red. Look, there's a red vinyl version.
Because it's satanic.
She's gone a little satanic. What the hell is going on? Did Balenciaga get to her? Was this all done before the Balenciaga scandal?
Wait, probably. Well, I don't know. She's such a copycat. There's nothing original about this girl. Granted, she has a lovely voice. She can sing.
So apparently she's banned from England. Like she can't go and play there.
I don't think that's it. I think that the artwork was banned. Okay. I don't think she's banned. I don't think anybody cares about her any which way anyway, because she's constantly begging for publicity. She's a publicity whore. I'm depressed. I'm going to kill myself. This, that, or the other. It goes against transgender people who are really transgender, people who are really suicidal. It's just ridiculous. I'm looking for this one passage I remember in this book, and I want to read it. I want to read an excerpt from a book. I want to find it.
This thing has parental advisory. Our first record.
So did my records. So did your record.
Yeah, our first record had parental advisory sticker on it. It was the coolest thing ever. I was in Costa Mesa, California when it was released, and there was a Tower Records down the street, and I went in, I bought my own record. It was fucking $17.99. It was expensive. I was like, dang.
That was
And
the end of the record industry, man.
it was a CD. I bought the CD though. I didn't buy a vinyl. I say record, but it's
Yeah.
a CD. But I had parental advisory on it. I felt so cool, man. It was it was a victory somehow. I don't know why. Oh yeah, she's well up in bondage. But this is some photographer. This is some artist. The
It's
mattress.
La Chapelle. So here's a picture. Right. This got so much flack back in the day because Demi Lovato is shocking, right? So just read the first line here.
I like my pussy. Sometimes I stare at it in the mirror when I'm undressing and wonder what it would look like without any hair. Oh my God. Like a baby. Wow.
This was done 30 years ago. You know who's in this? Vanilla Ice.
Where was Tucker Carlson back
Tucker
then?
Carlson was 7 years old. And look.
Old man with the young woman. Look. Wow. Well, there aren't any actual children, so I guess there's a story. Progressed.
I had sex with someone who wasn't grossly obese, but he was pretty overweight. It was the first and the last time. I really liked this man a lot. He was handsome, but he was overweight, and I thought it was a little gross. But I wanted to be unbiased because I really liked him. But the only way I could fuck him was on top because he crushed me because he weighed so much.
I think there are a few women who are thinking, oh, that's Usheen they're talking about.
Look how great she looks here, though. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, that's completely nude.
She's completely nude in this book.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, she's completely nude.
She's gone all out.
Yeah, but she did this shit a long time ago. Like,
it has an arty quality though, so it doesn't look like pornography. It looks
David LaChapelle. Who's the photographer? It's Steven Meisel. I mean, this is the same people that shot, the runway shows.
Yeah.
This book, by the way, is worth like a ton of money.
Really?
Because it was limited.
It looks like it's steel, like it's made of steel.
It is. It's metal. It's metal.
Look at that.
The cover is metal. It's on like a metal binder. It's not in the best shape. It's not perfect, but I do have the foil wrapper that it comes in. Anyway, this is like Demi Lovato. Listen, sweetheart. You're a fucked up broad. You don't really know what you're doing. Just sing some songs and be pleasant enough. But like all of this controversy, this provocation, it's been done. It's tired. I mean, it's all been done. And now that we're entering a new Victorian age, where, soon like a glimpse of her wrist will be the most erotic thing a man will be able to see because we're just telling people they can't do this, they can't say that, I'm watching this show about Anatomy of a Scandal with Michelle Dockery. I love her.
Oh, I was going to start that. Is it any good?
It's good.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm on episode tonight. I'm going to watch 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. Yeah, it's good. She's not part of the scandal. She's a barrister. But man, does it really show you like how dangerous words and accusations are and what the fine line is. I mean, when I was growing up, there was peep shows and porno theaters, and I don't remember a society going mad. I think society's more mad now that none of that stuff's available because now it's all on your phone. So it's really dangerous because I think, you could just order a pizza or a girl or a guy like that to your apartment. It's just gotten so dangerous, I think. And that everybody's so afraid of this, that, or the other, but yet they're hypocritical because they're all doing it online. So Demi Lovato, it's been done before.
Now, are you up to speed with Andrew Tate and what's been going on? He's arrested and he's put away for 30 days and so on.
He's in Romania?
Yeah, Romania, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he says a lot of interesting things. He's just such an unlikable dude. His personality is so unlikable.
The thing, at first when he hit the scene, I suppose, and boy, did he hit the scene. He's fucking everywhere. You can't scroll through anything without seeing the guy. And he annoyed me and so on. I was like, oh, what the hell, this guy's, it's all brouhaha, and he's just attracting the poor lads out there who can't get a girl and just turning their sadness into anger. But in there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh my god, he's so right. Oh my god, he's so right. Actually, that's good advice. Actually, that's good. Fuck. I keep saying fuck. I'm going, shit, I hate this guy, but oh shit, fuck. It's good. That's good what he said. The whole thing now is that, has he got a lot of money from somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but it appeared. And he's a very rich man. He's worth about 350 million. That's reported money. I would say he's worth more.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, is it a sex thing? Is it like it's chat rooms? I know he owns chat rooms, but he says they're very civilized and they're all voluntary. But he got pulled in for apparently staging, like, come live with me. I'll fly you to Romania on one of my private jets and I'll pick you up in my Bugatti. It always says Bugatti. And
Bugatti.
Yeah. And then girls wind up thinking they're going to date him or his brother, Tristan. And they wind up in a chat room and they feel like they've been duped or something. So that's the trafficking edge of the thing. I don't know.
Just think about Chatterbait and what's the other one? OnlyFans. I guess if you wrangled up a bunch of girls or kids or whatever your thing is, you could essentially lock them up and make them perform sexual acts on one of those channels. I guess you could do that. Maybe a lot of those channels are that, and people just don't know it. I mean, everybody loves to think, because everybody loves the word entrepreneur now. It's because everybody is one. These girls that are there and they're on, I know one, they're on OnlyFans and they're making $70,000 a month. Yeah, that's probably 2% of them, maybe. I bet you the rest of them are like girls in Latvia who are locked in a room and some guy's throwing steaks at them and saying, "You fuck Yorgi, you fuck him now," on camera. And it's probably true. So and these Eastern European countries are amongst the most unregulated places in the world.
That's his whole thing. That's why he loves it. It's very unregulated, and you can do a lot of stuff without getting in trouble. I mean, he's got stakes in casinos. I mean, he's rubbing shoulders with casino bosses and so on. These are basically their gangsters, with the mafia modern gangsters. Yeah, it's a mafia. It is in America also. I mean, there are certain legitimate casino owners in America, but very few. Wynn might be one of them, right? And the guys who own the Palms, the Maloof brothers, and so on. But
they related to Brian Maloof?
I doubt it. I doubt it. But isn't it funny that we had dealings with both Brian Maloof and the Maloof? Well, actually, we didn't have dealings with the Maloof brothers. In the end, they wanted to sign us into some sort of thing. And
you get to record at the Palm, though. That's a great studio in Vegas.
It would have been maybe an interesting thing. There's a whole story about that. I told it on the channel once, but anyway,
they manage the Killers, right?
I didn't know that.
Well, the Killers are from Vegas, and so are Panic at the Disco, and I believe that they're all part of that Palm thing.
The Palm, yeah. Well, they came to our show. We were playing with Bruce Willis,
right?
And Bruce Willis was having a party. And we were like, Bruce loved our band. And he was like, "We're going to party tonight, guys." And we're like, it's the end of the tour. We're like, fucking yeah. And then Kiko Rogers, the representative from William Morris agency, was like, "You're not going to party with him because the Maloof brothers just came to your show and they want you to go to their hotel." And we're like, "What? We're actually going to turn down Die Hard? Like, we're going to party with like one of the most famous stars in the world?" And she's like, "That'll be super lame. It's pathetic. We're going to the Maloof brother." She dragged us to that, and it was ultra insane and crazy.
When you mean you say ultra insane, was it like nude girls on swings and bowls of cocaine?
Yeah, it was that. I mean, we didn't. I don't do that stuff. But
Freddie
I told the
Mercury.
whole story when they're like putting women on my fucking lap. I was with Rachel at the time, so I had to turn. I was like, I'm so sorry, and it was blonde, and then she gets up and she fucking nods at the organizer, and they're like, let's send him and know that maybe that's not his style. Next thing, this big black girl sits down, and big tall black girl. I'm like, oh my god, it's only a matter of time before they send me a dude. What's his flavor? They were
What's his
looking for
flavor,
my
right?
yeah,
They
they
were
were looking
looking.
for yeah.
Isn't that
Instead,
funny?
I was just trying to be. That was back when I was a good boy. I was a nice boy back then.
Yeah, but you would still turn all that shit down because it's not. They haven't tapped into the flavor yet, and none of those are it.
Right.
Send
Yeah.
over Christy Brinkley 30 years ago.
Exactly. Or get some girl who knows my movie quotes. I'd be more into that
Right.
shit.
Right.
I was looking at some little meme on Instagram the other day, and they're interviewing all these. I was walking up with all these girls outside a club with little mini skirts, and they're like, "Anything interesting about any of you?" And one of the girls goes, "I'm a pilot," and he goes, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, I fly planes. I'm a commercial pilot."
Sit right
I'm
down,
like,
darling.
I'm like, I'm into that. I want to fucking date a pilot. Damn it,
She just got 8 times sexier.
Yeah, she wasn't even, but she was just saying with her girls, so she put on the miniskirt. She's a fucking commercial pilot. Like, come here, darling. Because when the lights go off, it's all the same.
But you still want her to keep the epaulets on, though. 4 stripes. Could you leave that on?
So it was a night of debauchery. Actually, the funniest moment was I'm sitting next to one of the Maloof guys, right? And he's talking to me about their ideas about whatever, having our band on their label or whatever. And there's some guy on the, we're in the center of the big nightclub. It's on the top of the fucking pass. We walk past 800 people in a line trying to get in, and we escorted past them and so on. So we're sitting there as champagne, and it's literally we got a bottle of champagne per person and a woman they literally just put like women or bottles of champagne, like they sat them on our laps, and so I'm having a serious chat with this guy, and there's another table behind us, but it's not a table, they're low couches, and there's another guy behind us, like facing the other direction. He's sitting with his back to me, and he's all animated and chatting with his mates, and every now and then I get an elbow because the guy's so animated. He's like doing this, and I kind of feel his arm kind of hits me a little bit a few times, and I just notice it. I didn't even kick up a stink. I didn't say anything. I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, oh, that dude. Yeah. And he notices, and snap. They fucking moved the entire table. They took all those people away and moved them to the other side of the club.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Because he was annoying you.
Because he was annoying, because he was disrupting the chat. That was fucking wild.
And what was he, just like one of those Vegas douchetards?
Just a douche-tard on cocaine, telling all his mates how great he is, right. Whatever the fuck.
It was like an Andrew Tate.
He was doing an Andrew Tate, and he got fucking moved. I was like, ugh. Then we were brought to this, remember the real world, was the real world, whatever, where all these people lived in a flashy apartment for months. It was the original.
That's what that is. The real world.
Yeah, it was the original
Big Brother.
Big Brother, And
which was first? I don't even know.
I think it was the American one.
Oh, was it?
So the apartment was on floor 28, so we all went there. And the girl who I was assigned to, she came with me, and she was assigned to me or whatever. But she knew the apartment because she had seen every episode of this stupid program. I never watched it. And, so she started dragging me around the place, and she gets to the bedroom. She's like, oh my God, my wildest fantasy is to make love on this bed. And so I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, ooh. Was she on the payroll?
She was definitely being paid by the hotel.
Oh, that's so. Oh, yeah. Wow. It's like when you go to Dubai and you're at the request of a sultan, they have like,
I think
anybody in the room.
Yeah, I think they work for the hotel. Mm-hmm. They're on a retainer, and they get assigned. So, they might have a lucky night and just sit at the bar all night and not do anything. But that night, you know, a rock band came in from Ireland, and then it's like, girls, time, you know, fix your lipstick.
Yeah,
What's
that's
that?
you know, it's the when that's the sound of like the Alibaba coming into the harem.
Right.
You know, the girls, you know, got
Yeah.
to get to work now, which
Yeah.
just means fuck all of our clients tonight.
Yeah. Do whatever the clients, you know, will take care of you. Do whatever he wants,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to pay because he's a guest. It
Western
was a
girls do
wild
that.
night.
They sign those 3-year contracts.
Right.
And that was exposed a couple of years ago. Now, listen, nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, you want to sign a contract saying that you'll do whatever you need to do, and they get paid millions of dollars. It's very handsome, but
It's your body.
it's your body, your choice. But from what I'm told, when they get there, it's not all, you know, 7-star hotels, and it's, you know, it's some rough, horrible stuff. And
So do you reckon Andrew Tate was up to no good, or do you reckon it was sabotage? I mean, maybe you're not up to speed on the
I
stuff.
am up to speed with the fact that his brother Tristan is apparently the guy that is the coach for these girls for these chat things. I don't think he is. He might have bankrolled it, but it seems like his brother is the real
Well,
kind of
listen, if his brother
mastermind.
is, then he is, because the two of them are connected at the hip.
How
Like
well
he and
that?
his brother, they live in the same house. It's kind of weird. Like, ask either of my brothers, would they like to share the same house with me? Fuck no, I don't care how much money he has. I'm
Oh
not
my
fucking
god!
living
I
with
moved
him.
out when I was 19, and that was the
Right.
end of that, kids.
The two of them are still faithful, like they're loyal to each other. And if one of them has a girlfriend and she says, I don't like your brother, they kick her out.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Now Tate is gone Islam. He's a Muslim now.
Oh, why does everybody have to go Islam? When you're full of shit, we know that's
when
not
he hears
true.
something he doesn't like, he says haram, haram, haram.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, they're interesting pair.
Why would you go that far over the other side? It's like it's the absolute end of the road, man. You can't do anything there.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is for because I know we're also on the radio, so I'm going to say this out loud. This is for Hitesh C. I think I mentioned it earlier, but yeah.
Dirk, you missed the part of Vanilla Ice in Madonna's book. He's there.
I did say he was in it, and here's the pictures. Yeah, Vanilla Ice was in the pictures, but he doesn't go nude. He just does a yeah.
He was someone for about 5 minutes many years ago.
Yeah, and now he's like a big real estate flipper in Florida. He has a real estate show where he flips houses on like the Home and Garden Network, HGTV here in New York. See, I just fucked this book up. I'm gonna have to be very careful with it.
All the richest, most successful people I know are in real estate. It seems like it's the thing to be in.
Well, I think it was like .coms were big for a while, and then the bottom fell out on that. And you know, there's so many Madoff programs on television. I just finished watching like the interview with all the real people. Man, real estate, right before everybody started jumping on the real estate train, it was all about the stocks in the early 2000s. That's why everybody lost their shirt. So I mean, every year it's something different. You know, I mean, you got on board at the right time when you started collecting watches. You really came in at the right time.
I did,
You got some very reasonable prices on some very big watches that are now worth a lot of money. You know, it's all about luck and timing for any investment. Let's face it. You know, nobody's got that magic potion, you know. I mean, obviously sex sells, so anybody who's trafficking, they're going to make a lot of money, but then they're also going to get hounded.
This is something I thought about earlier as well, is that, you know, the people making the most money right now online are the girls. Like, OnlyFans is a phenomenon, man.
Sure.
And if you're in any way liberated, sexually liberated at all, or loose in any way, man, oh man, so you can make so much money, and you can do it for a year and make bank, and then just quit if you want. I mean, that shit'll hang around the internet forever. So someday your kids are gonna find it and whatever, because the internet is forever. But like, it's an interesting thing to me that in the days of now, we're into AI days now, right? We have ChatGPT, which is the scariest thing in the
What is
world,
that?
right? It's this new website that's connected to AI, and it may be the biggest threat to Google, where you can ask it any question and it will give you a real answer. Finally, AI is now it's here. AI is now it's here, and we were warned by Elon Musk about 2 years ago, by the way. And
What's it
you
called?
know, Chat GBT, and we're there now, and we have rockets going to space and they're landing back down again successfully. And we have the Tesla. Elon Musk is behind a lot of this shit. And we have robots in China working for the military. We have drones now. They're a reality, totally a reality. You can buy a drone for, GPT, I should say, Chat GPT. You can buy a drone for a few $100, and the fucking thing is intelligent and everything, and will avoid obstacles. We're now in this, things have gone beyond the beyond. Now we're stepping into the next era, the next age, right? And isn't it funny that the thing that really attracts most people in the strongest way is the old fashioned thing? Boobies. It's just boobies will always win.
Dude, it's always going to be about vagina
Girls in mini
and
skirts
breasts.
will always just win out on everything. That is where most of the money, most of the attention on the internet is going. It's so funny to me that with all this advancements in technology, we're just still primitive animals, man.
And it will always remain that
I
until
sound like a stoner. We're all just primitive animals,
just gonna
man.
have to decide.
Shoot them with your siren, man.
I mean, until I guess AI, instant pussy shows up, like in Logan's Run, where you could just go, and then it shows up and it's virtual and it looks and feels like the real thing. Until that happens, this stuff. I just went on this AGT thing, or GG, whatever it's called, and
Chat
it said
GPT.
it was at capacity. Try again later.
It is fucking crazy, and there are even other versions now that people are saying are even more advanced. We're in a stage where you can ask AI to design things. There's a discussion about songs being written by AI.
Yeah, I saw that demonstrated on
right. So we're
on
there.
TV.
We're there. We were warned, man. It's only a matter of time before that technology is in one of those fucking robots that can dance, and then you hand it a gun, and then we're fucked. Then it's RoboCop. Then it's Terminator. We're already there.
We'll be out of here by that time.
Yeah, we'll be fucked, right?
Unless they come up with that pill to make us 150 years old.
The last thing we'll see on our deathbed is some fucking robot going up on the screen going, "We have taken over. Resistance is futile."
We have assumed control. We have assumed control. We have assumed control.
Right. I mean, we might be there. I'll tell you one thing, that when that's set, like in AI by Steven Spielberg, amazing movie, right? When it's the British handsome actor or whatever, he plays
Jude
that robot,
Gigolo
Jude
Joe.
Law. Yeah, he's the gigolo, right? When
Gigolo
that
Joe.
shit happens, when a woman can have the dude over as the fuck boy, and she doesn't,
And he's got a really big dick.
yeah, he's got the perfect dick, or probably like she'll be able to choose. He'll be able to.
Oh,
like,
sure.
and it'll shrink or expand. She'll be like, "I want that tonight," or "No, that's too much. I'm not feeling very good. I want a little less," and whatever.
Sure.
And he'll just go pound, pound, pound as long as she needs, and he doesn't have to come up for air. I mean, that's going to create chaos, man.
Yeah, he was a pleasure robot.
That's chaos. That's madness.
I hear you yelling out there. Usually she comes on the desk. She's my cat's over in the other room going, meow.
Just looking for food.
AI, listen, I'm not going to get on my little soapbox about that movie. And I think probably if you watch it today, it's probably even more powerful. It's a masterpiece. Started by Kubrick, finished by Spielberg. It's a masterpiece of cinema. It looks great. It sounds great. John Williams' score is outrageous, and the acting. I've never cried harder in a film in my life.
Really?
No.
Wow.
When she takes him and Teddy, and she takes them to the forest, and she says, "Run."
Run. Yeah. She dumps him out into the wilderness. And he winds up like with all the other robots that are missing parts.
They're all junk.
For scraps that are like compatible with their arms and shit like that. So fucking advanced. It's so cool, man.
Do you remember who the toy maker was?
The toy maker. No.
William Hurt.
Oh, William Hurt. That's right. Yeah, he was the genius behind. He built him.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right. William Hurt. He's the perfect guy for those roles. He has that huge forehead. He looks so kind of smart, and
Yeah,
the way he speaks,
big
and so,
brain, and he's tall. He was a handsome guy, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. There's the for people who don't know, I'd urge you to watch the movie. I think it's a brilliant film. I think it was misunderstood when it came out.
Look at this guy. This guy has no idea what he just mentioned.
Oh,
THX 1138. Way cool at the time. Yes, THX 1138.
That's O'Shea's favorite movie of all time. Of all time. I mean,
yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, no one talks about that movie as deeply and as layered as that guy.
Let me tell you, they re-released it back in 2005, 2000. Was it 2005, 2006? They remastered it, and of course Lucas can't keep his hands off his old movie, so he added some extra CGI and shit, which was annoying, but he did clean up the film, and it was in the theaters for 1 week, and I bought 20 tickets, and I invited everyone. My mother was in town at the time, my auntie Joan, they all came along to see the movie. My mother thought it was stupid. And it's just stupid fucking film.
But you know, fair.
I made them all go to see them.
By the way, can we say this on air? Happy birthday, Jer. It's your mother's birthday today.
It's my mother's birthday today. Yeah.
And your sister's birthday.
And my sister's birthday.
So happy birthday, Neve and Geraldine.
If you're listening.
Jer, his mom, is a legend because her and I will sit around and just chat about obscure Star Trek episodes because she knows them upside down. I mean, she knows everything about them. And it, like the dumbest little thing, like I should be like, oh, well, that was in that particular series, they didn't have transporters yet because blah, 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 hadn't invented them. And she knows all the character names. It's insanity. So she does have sci-fi acumen. She does.
Oh, man knows everything. Yeah, she watches all those weird Japanese shows and stuff. She knows all the stuff. Yeah, she probably saw Squid Game before anybody else saw Squid Game. You know,
Squid Game. Now that show, I watched it, and then I heard they're making a second series, and I don't see the point of that.
I've already seen a few series that they're trying to copy it. There was one the other day. Somebody recommended it online, and I was super disappointed. I thought it was awful. It was like, I don't know where they were, but the town shuts down. All of a sudden, there's no one anywhere, and then they have to be part of a game. And I was like, really, guys? You're all gonna try and cash in on the same fucking theme? Okay, fair enough. Disappointing.
That's a shame. Well, that's what music does. I was in the hardware store the other day. I digress. And no matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside, but I can't break through. Was on, and you know what? It was fucking great. It was great.
It's a great little tune.
It was like, I'm so tired of that you leaving. It takes time. It was the first time anybody'd ever heard autotune, and it was interesting. And it's a good song. Everybody dances to it.
Yeah.
And now every song is that. So it's like everybody's tired of it.
But she could really sing.
Well, she can. Well, a lot of people don't think she can, but she certainly can. So.
I think she can sing.
Oh, yeah. I think she's a great singer.
What's the one? If I could turn back time, she's on the military ship.
If I could turn back time. You got to just turn up the sheep a little bit, you know?
The sheep. We need more sheep.
Yeah.
Sure. How was that take? It was good, but we need more sheep.
I try. Yeah. She's got a little bat going on in there. She got the really fast.
I can't unhear that now. For
Yeah,
the
was
rest of
she?
my life.
Well, it's like a lot
More
of
sheep, more
there's a
sheep.
lot of people that have that sheep sound. Eddie Vedder has that sheep sound. Like a lot of concrete. He's got that sound too. They all sound like Cher though. All those guys from the 90s, the guy from Creed, the guy from all the guys in the 90s, Chris Cornell, even though he's a great singer, they all have that, yeah, gypsies, they all have that mumble mouth thing.
There's a lot of mumble mouth.
There's a lot of mumble mouth. Yeah. Like a concrete. That's all I know. The song, it sounds like These Eyes, but I've probably done this on the show already, so I won't do it again. Yeah, these eyes are crying. These eyes have seen a lot of love, but you're never gonna see another woman like I had in you. Remember that song?
Yes, and they keep going up.
These
I
eyes
keep raising
are
it by
crying.
fucking tone.
Yeah, it keeps going up. Yeah.
It feels like torture for the singer. Oh my god, I hate that.
Well, that sounds just like even flow right of fire. It's the same fucking thing.
Okay, lastly, quickly, can we talk about Biden and the fucking shit they're finding in his garage in the back of his car or whatever? Is this shit planted or is he just a fucking Egypt? You know, one thing I learned, you know, the right will always say about CNN being biased toward the left and so on. No, CNN have been grilling the fuck out of him over this shit.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, I'm not a big CNN fan either, but I'm just like, I've seen Fox News fall over themselves to apologize for Trump and his various different misgivings. But, you know, CNN are not making any excuses. They're coming in hard on Biden over this stuff. What's happening? Is this the end of him? Is this how he goes out?
First of all, do we know what's in those papers?
But we don't know.
Before any of this, listen, you guys know that I'm neither right nor left. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I think both sides suck. But can someone explain to me how long that process to elect him as Speaker of the House? It went on. I mean, he kept losing. Yeah, McCarthy kept losing, but yet he eventually got it. How long is there not? Isn't there like this is the third round, final round? There's no final round. Why did he actually get in there eventually?
It was a very bizarre. I don't really understand the system. A lot of people coming in here go, Dara goes, Biden is a robot.
Well, he's a I mean, he's in a senile old man.
Daniel says Biden can't even read anymore.
He can't.
I think Joe Rogan was famously said Biden doesn't know if he's still alive. It's like
he's like the type of guy that should just have a jumper on the porch with a dog and his grandchildren, and that's the only job he should have.
I know.
I mean, I mean, he's not running the country anyway. It's all the people underneath him. So I mean, I'll still take him over the Great Orange Wonder, but still. But does anybody know? Sure. Is there a process that I mean, what is the process? So no one was voting for you, but then you keep changing your tune, and eventually, apparently, he sold his soul out to all the Trump tards. So now
that's
everything
what I heard.
So every far right, crazy ass, you know, the furthest extremist version of republicanism are the people that own him and now hold the puppet strings. Is that what it is? But how long? When do you finally get eliminated? Was there no elimination round? I mean, when does he get voted off the island?
I fell off the whole story about halfway in. I was like, what are we waiting for?
I know. I don't understand it. Yeah, it was like 15 ballots. I mean, no one seems to know. You know, it's like I used to say to people, why do you hate Nancy Pelosi? Because no one has a reason to hate her. She never did anything. You know, I mean, she's just a wacky old lady, you know, but you know, her husband.
The disappointing thing to me is that we as a people, we're all together. We all need to get a job and pay the rent. We all have the same struggle. We're all in the same fight. If a car crashes, there's a film recently of some guy, he gets run over and he's stuck under the car, and people just jump out of their cars and they all pull together to pick up the car. You know, 16 guys can pick up a car, you know, on the side, or not fully, but like on one side of it. And then one guy drags him out. Now, is somebody going to get in and go, hey, are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Did you vote for Trump? No. In that moment, we're all together. We're just people, okay? And we have our shit, and we all have to get through the same stuff. And it just disappoints me that when Trump apparently has documents, it's okay. But now Biden has documents and fuck him, and vice versa, that people can't see beyond their own nose. That, now McCarthy is the new Speaker of the House again. Now, surely if you think there's a big conspiracy run by the, Clintons and the lizard people, from outer space, surely he wouldn't have won it, but he did win it. So it just kind of goes to show, like, can everyone stop with the fucking thinking there's some sort of covert hand controlling? No, it's a bunch of fucking idiots trying to figure out shit. I'm sure some people pay to get things done. I'm sure money changes hands. That's as old as time. But it happens on all sides, guys. There's corruption everywhere.
They're all corrupt. I don't
kind
think
of
we'll
in this
ever have
together.
anybody. Plus, the other problem is that we'll never have an idealistic person in charge, because now we know what gauge toilet paper they use. We know every little peccadillo that they have. John F. Kennedy Jr. Now we all know he was a womanizer. He might have been involved in the death of Marilyn Monroe. We didn't know any of that stuff, so we called it Camelot, because idealistically, it was fantastic and fresh. That they thought the same thing of Hitler, people. Yeah. They did. They just didn't know. But the truth of the matter is the German people did know about it at the time, because he wasn't exactly hiding it. But I mean, nowadays, we'll never, ever, ever, ever have the golden goose ever again, because we know too much. If you vet anybody, it's very rare. And if they do come up squeaky clean, then they're going to be forcing Jesus down your throat. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
you don't want someone who's super squeaky clean. You want some dude he's made a few mistakes, So
that's why we need to. Right. That's why we need to elect George Santos president.
Yeah. David asked us talking about George Santos. We can get onto it for a minute. We're coming up on 2 hours soon. George Santos, I mean, where did this guy come from? I mean,
he's a crazy queen.
What the yeah, he is. Yeah, in the wildest way.
She's a Democrat. She's a homosexual. She helps animals. She's been in space.
She does.
No, she does not help. It's all a lie. All of that's not true. His pet charity doesn't exist. He didn't go to NYU. He didn't go to Baruch. He didn't go to any of the places he said he went. He's not Jewish. He's Jewish. I'm Jewish.
I'm Jew-ish. I'm ish. He's just trying to placate to that side as well.
Yeah. It's like, I'm from New York and I'm not Jewish, but I play one on TV. I know, like, I always, my friend Mimi Reichenbeck always says, when's the next Jewish holiday? She asks me because she doesn't remember and she's Jewish. She knows I know.
I mean, what's up with this? He has to be done, right? He's got to be done.
Well, okay. Alec Baldwin's wife got away with being from Spain. Maybe he'll get away with this too.
She was Spanish-ish.
And she's got her children are half Spanish-ish. Half Irish, half Spanish-ish.
He still calls her Ilaria. He should just dump him. I still like the guy. I still do. But he calls her Ilaria. Just call her Hillary. Her name is fucking Hillary.
Does he really call her Ilaria? Well,
he still calls her Ilaria.
But when he impersonates her now, does he still use a Spanish accent?
Oh,
that was the worst. He's like, my wife, well, she's from Spain, and Alec, please close the door. Alec, please, it's time for siesta. Alec, please. He does like, and he always goes, well, she has a Spanish accent because she's Spanish. She's not. She's from Spain. She's from Boston. Pack the cat, Alec. Pack the cat in the garage.
Pack the cat in the garage.
Yes. Take your hat off. We got to take your hat off because you got a hat on. I love that. You're in the house. Take your hat off. You got a hat on. Excuse me? Oh, Nathaniel Hannon drops $20 on us.
Oh, finally, because he wasn't able to spend it the whole time.
All of the politicians are the lizard people. Both
Of course
sides
they
in
are.
any country you might be inclined to choose. Of course, 100% correct. Your
Yeah.
guy's a dick too. That's all I have to say. That's my motto. That's what I'm going to write on a t-shirt. Your guy's a dick too.
That's brilliant. I love that actually.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to start our merch store, and the first t-shirt we're going to do is it's copywritten, by the way. Hold on. I just copywrote it. It's
Done.
Your guy's a dick too. We're going to have those available in, I'm imagining, mostly extra large. Because that's middle-aged guys are watching the show. Dad bods. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. And you're right, and I'm right, and everybody's right. Politics suck. Religion sucks. I got into a fight. I know we're gonna switch this
All right.
over. Are we posing a question to Tim, by the way?
Yeah, in a minute we're gonna ask about watch
Pantyhose.
pantyhose. Now we're gonna talk about watch registers. If you lose your watch, who do you want to register your watch with? Should it be divided among different watch registers, or should there be just one watch register? Say what you're going to say, though.
I got into a really crazy Twitter war with the ex bass player from a band called Striper that I've toured with.
Oh, I remember
and
that.
Yeah, they're a Christian heavy metal band. They're a really good band, but all their songs are about Jesus Christ and all this stuff. Anyway, this guy used to do a lot of cocaine and have a drinking problem, and they kicked him out of the band finally because enough is enough. So he wrote this thing on Facebook, which I don't interact on anymore because I don't like it. And he said, R.I.P. Jeff Beck. I hate to tell you people, but he didn't accept Christ. So he's burning in the embers of hell. Blah, 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 blah. So I went off on him and I said, first of all, you fucking cherry picker Christian asshole. This is the most unchristlike behavior. You know,
exactly.
Jesus would never have done. That's the problem with these kind of fundamentalist Christians. They don't know how to behave Christ-like. Jesus didn't judge people. Jesus laid with hookers and drug addicts and thieves and fiends and all that.
The whole point, yeah.
That
story was very ahead of its time, actually.
And the guy just wrote back, goes, "You're stupid."
I thought he was going to say, "You're Satan."
No, but I said, I mean, it went back and forth like several times, and I promised myself I would never allow that anymore.
Yeah.
But no matter what, and then people were like, Corinthians number 7, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, Jesus didn't write those, guys. Jesus didn't have a journal that like these guys uncovered in a crypt. This shit was made by men. Fuck you. He's like, you're stupid.
Wow.
Aye. Politics is stupid. Religion is stupid. And remember, guys, your guy's a dick too.
Your guy is a dick too. That's so good. I love that.
Yeah. That's it.
So we're going to go talk about watch registers. Everybody watching, we're still here. Just give us 10 seconds. It's going to knock off for exactly 10 seconds. We're going to have some new people, and we're going to talk about whether a watch register is a good thing, whether we should have lots of them, or whether we should only have one. How about that, guys? Give us 10 seconds. Hang on, guys. We'll be back in 10
9,
seconds.
8, 7, 6, 5,